Jason Kelce's going to unretire. I don't know if Jeremy Fowler has anything else on that. Back with us from the spring meetings. Jeremy, it's a fun highlight to have Kelce at these spring meetings, but how impactful was he today?
Yeah. Phil, Kelce is definitely not unretiring, but he was a factor today. Talking to people around the building, they said that the meetings in here were tense, especially with owner Jeffrey Lurie and his impassioned speech. Well, Kelce came after him and brought a bit of levity to the situation. His discussion was football only. He broke down the tush-push plays. He highlighted how it is not an injury risk at all from his vantage point. He said that Jalen Hurts is going to continue to get those first downs, whether he's pushed or not. The offensive line is just that good. So that was pretty refreshing for the owners to just hear the football standpoint. Steelers president Art Rooney told me that he thought that Kelce might have even swayed a few voters based on what he said today. And so overall, it was still a mild surprise that the Packers proposal did not go through, and that left Cowboys owner Jerry Jones trying to make sense of it all.
Any play that's out of the ordinary gets some extra scrutiny just because of the competition in there. And so all of that, I think, is now that's the fun part of having these meetings. And here we are, the world champion is the main focus of the tush push. And here we are debating it and having to decide, well, am I really against the tush push or just don't want Philadelphia to have an edge? And I sit there and fight that too, and smile when they're making a presentation.
Which one is it for you?
I don't know. I flip-flop.
Phil, another big topic today was playoff reseeding. A Detroit Lions source told me that the Lions shelved their proposal because they knew it had no legs. They knew it wouldn't get voted upon, but they did spark some conversation for the future. The league does have an appetite for reseeding eventually, especially in light of an eventual 18-game season.
Yeah, the league's been nimble in the past. I mean, Jeremy, in 2005, when the NFL first banned the pushing and pulling of ball carriers, they cited enforcement and lack of a competitive advantage. Safety wasn't in the conversation. Jeremy Fowler from Minnesota, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, the best case, really, I mean, that's it for the tush push to ban it. It's been a pain in the backside for most of the league. Over the last 3 seasons, the Eagles ran a push sneak 108 times, converting a first down or touchdown on 92 of those, better than 85%. That number nearly doubles the next closest team, the Bills. Touchdowns accounted for 27 of those Philly successes. The rest of the league, Buffalo had 11. Everybody else combined had 14. So, Lewis, we know now, this play isn't going anywhere. So is there a way for teams to defend it?
No, not really. Not really. And like I said, unless you have guys who are just so unique in terms of their ability to play with leverage and have explosive contact strength. Like I said before when I was joking about the fact that unless you have 3 Vita Veas, the fantastic defensive tackle from the Tampa Bay Bucks, that you can put one head up on the center and put 2, in one techniques, like inside shades of the guard, there's nothing you're going to be able to do because Philadelphia's offensive line is just so good and so powerful in their lower half. And Jalen Hurts is a 500, 600-pound squatter. I mean, and then you got Saquon Barkley behind him and, tight ends behind him. It's just, there's just nothing you can really do about it unless you have the manpower up front to slow it down. You're at their mercy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Lewis that you're at their mercy because usually they're running it on 3rd and 1 or less or 4th and 1 or less. And we're talking about 3 feet. Like, we're not talking about 2 or 3 yards. We're talking about 3 feet, essentially, less than 3 feet. So it is really, really tough to stop anybody. And I would almost bet this, guys. Even if they didn't push Jalen Hurts and they just ran a regular quarterback sneak, I think their successful percentage of getting that would still be just as high, maybe even higher. And I think because the quarterback sneak is so tough to stop. And even with that being said, myself as a defensive tackle, I've heard other defensive tackles like Jerry McCoy and Ndamukong Suh, we all say the same thing. The play still shouldn't be banned because there's something about it. At some point, it's going to get stopped. It may not be stopped every time, but it's going to be stopped at the right time. And I think at that point, we will all then say, oh, it's successful sometimes, but we can stop it at an opportune time for our defense. So even with all that being said, I'm still glad that they decided not to ban the tush push.
And this proposal didn't miss by much, failed by 2 votes. The owners did back it 22-10, which coincidentally, the same exact score by which the Eagles beat the Packers, source of the proposal, 22-10 in this year's wild card. New on NFL Live, the Hard Knocks teams for 2025. The Bills and reigning MVP Josh Allen will be in the spotlight in training camp. That premieres August 5th. First time Buffalo's been selected for the series. And the in-season Hard Knocks will debut following the NFC East throughout the season. That comes up in December. So, Booger, the rules changes are what made the Bills eligible for this. You used to be able to opt out if you'd been in the playoffs the last 2 years. What are you most excited to see on Hard Knocks from lovely Pittsford, New York?
Well, the Buffalo Bills have been knocking on the door and knocking on the door and knocking on the door, and they've yet to kick the door down. I just want to see what their culture is like. Is it a championship culture? What are they doing day in and day out to win? I'll take myself back when we were in Tampa and we kept losing to Philadelphia over and over and over. I knew what the off seasons was like. I knew what our meetings, our weightlifting sessions were like. And I just want to see what the culture during training camp is like for the Buffalo Bills as they try to knock this Lombardi Trophy door down.
Graz, for the in-season version, again, that debuts in December. I know you love the turnover in that NFC East. What are you most excited to see as we follow these four teams?
Yeah, most excited to find out what's going on in December because a lot can happen. But let's assume the teams we expect to be good are good. I want to see what's going on with the Washington Commanders. They potentially something special there. We know what Jayden Daniels did in his first season. To get to the NFC Championship game with a rookie quarterback says a lot about the organization that Dan Quinn has put together in a short period of time there. When he was head coach of the Falcons, they went to the Super Bowl in his second season. So it's worth keeping an eye. I'm fascinated to see inside that building, especially if they are as hot this December as they were last December.
20 straight seasons without a repeat winner in the NFC East. If there's anybody who's going to overtake Philly, it's probably Washington. Coming up here on NFL Live, with NFL players now eligible to play flag football in the Olympics, Lewis and Booger draft their dream flag defense. Find out which stars make the cut next.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các bạn nha. Mình sẽ giới thiệu cho các bạn về kênh của mình và những video của mình cho các bạn biết được là kênh của mình làm video sáng tạo nội dung về chủ đề gì. Video của mình sẽ làm xuyên suốt về chủ đề cắt dán này. Mình sẽ cắt dán những sản phẩm như thế này cho các bạn xem. Còn đây là những sản phẩm mình đã hoàn thiện rồi. Sẽ giới thiệu sơ qua cho các bạn xem những sản phẩm của mình và cách của mình tạo ra những sản phẩm như thế nào. Và để tạo ra được những sản phẩm đa dạng màu sắc như thế này và như thế này thì mình sẽ cần những dụng cụ như sau. Những dụng cụ phụ bổ trợ như là đây là giấy thủ công màu các bạn. Trước mặt bên tay phải của mình đây là giấy thủ công màu. Nó có đa dạng những màu sắc để tạo ra những sản phẩm tuyệt đẹp cho các bạn xem. Đấy. Có giấy màu xanh dương này, giấy màu cam này các bạn này, giấy màu đỏ này, giấy màu vàng này, còn đây là giấy màu xanh lá cây. Đấy. Và trong quá trình tạo ra những sản phẩm của mình cần những dụng cụ như là bút dạ này, kéo cắt thì để dùng để cắt, bút dạ thì để dùng để tạo hình những sản phẩm. Còn đây là hồ dán các bạn ạ. Hồ dán thì mình sẽ dán những sản phẩm từ một chi tiết này sang chi tiết khác, từ màu sắc này sang màu sắc khác cho các bạn. Còn đây sau của mình đây là chiếc chân kẹp điện thoại. Chân kẹp điện thoại thì phải có điện thoại. Còn đây là đèn hỗ trợ ánh sáng của mình các bạn ạ. Đèn hỗ trợ ánh sáng để giúp cho video của mình sáng hơn, để cho các bạn xem đẹp hơn. Cái nồi của mình này, lò chiên này, máy in. Trước mặt của mình rất nhiều sản phẩm và kênh của